Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Sunday, September 1st, 2024. And we are doing Descender number 2 by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. It's pretty good. It's watercolor. And you know what? I found myself really kind of apprehensive about reading it today, but it's not bad. And it's funny because I was thinking about what I was going to say about it. And the first thing I wanted to say was, there's not a lot of blacks. Well, look at the first page. The first page is solid black. So clearly you can do black in watercolor. But even though there is black, it's not crushed black. And there's something about this that just doesn't feel complete. And that's not fair to say. And that's because of my prejudice as a comic book reader, growing up in the late 80s and early 90s through the 2000s. I probably collected for 20 years, and this is good. Okay, so here's what's going on. Tim 21 is being chased by bad guys who just arrived on his mining colony 10 years after a robot genocide. His colony was not included in the robot genocide because all of his humans were killed when a gas pocket was leaked into their habitat, and they all died. But since Tim, this little boy here, is not a human, he's a robot, he woke up 10 years later, and he also happens to be, so he's created by this guy here, Dr. Jin Kwan, and he happens to be the model for a robot which comes to take over the planets and has just arrived recently. And an interesting thing is happening here. So I think I'm going to lay out my suspicions for this 32, I believe it's a 32 issue comic. I think this is a time loop. And the robots that come back and attack Earth and the 9 planets of the whatever galactic coalition are actually Tim through some sort of time vortex, because what happens here, he's being chased by these mercenaries, bounty hunters essentially, and this dog bites his ankle, but it doesn't hurt because he's a robot. He doesn't have an Achilles tendon. He's got a dog of his own named Bandit who ends up going down this cliff here. So they're at a mining facility. Now here we're sort of jumping back and forth. This is the present, this is the past. And here his creator, Dr. Jin Kwan, is telling him he's going to live on this mining community and have a family there and be a friend and entertainment to them, etc., etc. There's an interesting thing happening here where we're expected to imbue the robot with the empathy that we would have for a little boy, even if the writing isn't that well done. The writing here is not that well done. This is straight exposition. There's no real interaction. The only reason this could have any effect is if you're 9 yourself and you don't realize you're having an epistemological trick played on you by the author of the story. This is sort of like when the news reports about one candidate in glowing terms and reports about the other candidate in sarcastic, snide, condescending terms. You're supposed to take a meaning away with that, even if they only tell you the facts. Body language, tone, and emphasis have more weight than the words you say. So here, we're relying on body language, tone, and emphasis to have more weight than the words said. And it doesn't work because it's a comic. And no one's really making choices. This is a robot, so he's not really making a choice. Here he's meeting his new family, and he rescues, the little boy is very happy to see him. He has a great life with them. But he's also being chased by these bad guys and escaping from them with his pet dog named Bandit. They slide down the hill here. I am really impressed with Dustin Nguyen's landscapes, his outer space landscapes in watercolor, as well as his facial people, his human illustrations. I think if they'd hired a traditional inker and colorist this book could be a million times better. Maybe he wanted to color it himself. I don't blame him. I want to color my own work. I want to ink my own work. But it's really expensive because I'm not that fast. And if I were fast, it would still be expensive because it takes a while to do it. But this is amazing artwork. I don't know why they chose to give the robot this wide-eyed sort of expression all the time. I'm certain that is one thing that robot creators would fix immediately because it's really kind of off-putting when someone has that expression, this like wide open-eyed expression right here. So it works for a comic book. It wouldn't work for a real life animatronic doll that's supposed to keep people company. But so anyhow, he's leading the bad guys on a chase through this mining colony, and they're going to catch him. But before they do, here we have some bits about the bad guys and who they are and their characterizations. I love the way Dustin DeWin draws characters. One of the things that I think, okay, so now this page I was saying there's no blacks, right? But this is all just warm grays, and it's fucking awesome. I love the way he does negative space. I love the way he does contour lines with white. I love everything about this artwork. It just doesn't feel like a comic book. And when I say I was apprehensive to read it, it's because it's a different kind of interpretation. Your brain has to interpret a comic, and you have to do a little bit of work. And I have to confess, my brain didn't want to do it. And I actually picked it up a couple times and put it back down before I spent the time to read it today. But anyhow, he's getting deeper into the mining colony, and he's also getting deeper in love with the family who has adopted him. He rescues the little boy in an accident. Where's that? Right here. This is a giant machine, and he pulls the little boy away from it a moment before it eats his brains. It's some sort of tracked, geofarming machine. And over here, they give him, I believe this is what's happening, a birthday party, because it's his first year with them, and they give him a birthday present of his own dog. Yeah, and he also is, he's just becoming better friends with the family and everything. And, here he's got a beam cannon that he's charging up because he knows they're going to catch up with him. Here he's becoming better friends with the family. And also, he finds, this is sort of impactful. Well, the bad guys catch up with him and he tortures one of them. He kills the boss. But then one of the bad guys also kills him. And I believe I went past it. He finds the mom in here. I think is that this page? Yeah, this is the mom right down here. So you can see, I'm going to hold it up really close. There's this skull. And her name was P. Travers, something Travers. Pamela, maybe, Patricia. But yeah, so there's all these little emotional moments. And then he kills the mercenary boss, and the mercenaries kill him. But it's not over because the mercenaries are now down deep in the mining facility. And there has been a robot genocide. So there was a robot war between humans, where the humans, because these giant robots showed up. Now this is an interesting thing because this robot right here proceeds to kill all these humans, and he's saying that he hates humans. And I was thinking, well, he must be attached to the computers, and he must have the news and know about the robot genocide. But I don't think that's the case at all. I think he is the robot that comes back later. I think this robot Tim, I'm jumping 30 issues ahead. This is me predicting. In the next 30 issues, I have to buy one or two. I think I have almost all of them. Tim, his consciousness gets moved into this, and he comes back to Earth, somehow gets cloned, and that's what's going on. And it's not an attack. It's somehow this little boy trying to find his maker. Pinocchio as a robot. Here is an ad for a new comic. I think it's called The Killer. Looks pretty good. It's about this girl who is a sort of a virtuoso, and not just music, but also murder. And I think so this is what's starting in the beginning, is she's playing music, and they show a metronome right down here at the bottom, and it's doing the tick, tick, tick bit. And so each of these panels is like a tick, 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 tick. And it sets up this rhythm as she's moving through taking care of her enemies. So that's, I believe, the goal of that. I don't know that a sound effect would have carried it over, but I think the panels alone kind of did it. It set up a rhythm, which is really kind of cool. It was well done. And then so there's another ad for this other comic here with the bright colors. That's called Captara. These are 2015. So this is Descender number 2. It's not bad. I do think they made a mistake. And it's kind of too bad in that they murdered all of those soldiers. I thought it was a mistake when I read it the first time. It would be impactful in a TV show. Let's say this was a TV series. I thought they were setting up a new group of bad guys, and then they killed them all. So there's two reasons. There's one reason that would be a good idea, and one reason that would be a bad idea. The reason it would be a good idea is the costumes are really, really expensive, and it's the first time you introduce really flamboyant alien costumes, and then you cut back to human looking. So you bring them in for one episode, and then they all get murdered, so you don't have to bring them back and do it ever again. In theory, you would only have to put the actors in the costumes once. You could shoot it all in one day, in a single day, and that would be one reason to do that. The reason not to do it would be, obviously, you establish very cool characters, and then you throw them away. So that's the reason not to do it. In a movie, you wouldn't do it. In a TV show, you could probably get away with it, especially if you gave the actors more parts. So this is the Yggdrasil deck, tarot deck. It's really good. I like it. It's all black and white. Today is Urd, and he is the future. No, he is the present? Yeah, Urd is the present. Yesterday we had the future. Guessing tomorrow we will have the past, which will probably be an old man. And if I looked back, I think yesterday was a female. I don't know. This is Urd, the present. So today's episode is brought to you by Legacy of a Mad Scientist and the Legend of Ashley Fox. 26 hours of science fiction audiobooks here for you on YouTube. Also free ebooks on Smashwords, or you can buy them. I think they're $1 ebooks on Amazon. $16 as paperbacks. Check them out. We even have a comic book, Ashley Fox, The Last Valkyrie. I've been working on the next installment in this writing. I got 2 more chapters done last night, and I'm very happy with it. It's my best work. So hope everything else is going great with you guys. I made some more money in crypto today. Kind of doubled my money. I'm really happy. I'm learning a lot. You guys should learn how to trade crypto. It's something to do. It's something to do. And it might cost you a little bit to learn. Everything costs a little bit to learn. But once you learn what to do, you're learning how to make profits. So that's never a bad thing. I know how to write. I want to get better at illustration, but I need to calm my mind down to get better at illustration. I was saying I had these alpha channel ideals, and the first one is to have a clear conscience. And the other side of a clear conscience is no anxiety. Okay, so a mind at rest. And it's very hard to have a mind at rest if you're worried about money problems. So if you can get money problems out of the way, art becomes a lot easier. It becomes a lot easier to invest yourself fully in it. And I'm able to do it with writing with more reward for the time invested. So that's where I've been spending my time lately. But I want to I haven't been, last month, I've only been doodling, and I really want to get back to doing some more art. Part of it is talking to this good friend of mine who I don't think we were even talking when I started these. So that's changed things a little bit. Anyhow, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow with Descender number 3. All right, see you then. Bye.